It is that time of the show when we say hello to Wayne Guzman, who is Director of Business Development for Her Vision Insurance Services. And Wayne, I know that you've been at the corporate level. I think the last one was Vice President of Allstate.
Yeah.
At the corporate level, on the corporate side of insurance, for a lot of years. Tell me a little bit about your background, because you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ron. I did formerly serve as the Vice President of Benefits for Allstate Benefits. So I've had a lot of experience prior to that. Colonial Life, I was the Los Angeles District Manager. And in both of those capacities and even prior, our focus was really on helping businesses, large businesses, and very large businesses, really with their employee benefit programs, really look at solutions to what's going on with affordable care and how they could bring really good benefits to their employees. So.
And you're involved in some insurance organizations or groups as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a very active member of the Inland Empire Health Underwriters Association, which is a part of the California Health Underwriters Association. So as a board member, it's something that we really focus on looking at issues today within the communities, those who we serve, as well as the agents who are doing the serving. So.
Okay, so I'm curious then. You've been this high-level insurance corporate guy for years, and now you're serving individual clients. That's a pretty big paradigm shift. What led to that?
You know, I appreciate the question. I really think that when you do what you do, it is truly about having that servant's heart and that idea of servant leadership, and being on the front lines and knowing the need, and with the true advent of the Affordable Care Act in January 1st of 2014, really wanted to get back in touch to going back to how I got started, and that's working with individuals, people, helping them to really find solutions to a big problem that many are dealing with, and that was affordable insurance and health insurance. So it is something that it just had a tremendous passion. It's a shared passion with our owner and my wife, Tracy, because of personal experiences and because of people that we've had in our lifetimes who may have been affected or whose lives were changed because they didn't have affordable health insurance.
And you know, that makes sense, because one thing that we did know about the Affordable Health Care Act is that millions of people who formerly didn't or couldn't get insurance suddenly would have the capability of doing that. And that could create a huge onslaught of new insurance policies. And that's got to be a really good feeling, helping these people who maybe never had, couldn't afford, didn't have, and now do.
Yeah, I tend to be a little idealistic in the fact that the Affordable Care Act has truly opened up or created a pathway for those to connect those individuals who didn't have insurance, and really providing affordable avenues, whether it's the expanded Medicaid or Medi-Cal programs in California, whether it's the mandate at the employer level in the beginning of that, where we're really challenging employers to find ways to cover their employees, or it's just providing that premium assistance to help people find affordable coverage. It's kind of exciting. This has been, having started and been in the business for probably over 25 years, it's a very exciting time to see some of this come to fruition.
That is so neat. And correct me if I'm wrong, people can go to the Covered California site and try to do it themselves, and you know, maybe have some level of success or none, or they can come to someone like you. And there's no fee if they come to you, right?
No, you know,
and they get your expert advice.
Correct, and there are avenues. There's entities, there are community outreach, there's certified enrollment counselors, and then there's certified insurance agents. And I think the big differentiator that we see, and we have people who this year may have used one of the other mediums, such as an enrollment counselor or outreach, who've decided and realized, because there's no extra cost for our expertise or those of my industry colleagues, many of us who take countless hours of continuing education year in, year out, we really can provide a much higher level of expertise, especially when it comes to understanding tax situations and things like that.
And that makes sense to me. You know, the closest analogy or comparison I can draw is the old days when people used travel agents. Yeah. You know, could you book your trip on your own? Of course you could. But if you went to a travel agent who typically you didn't pay anything out of pocket to, they were paid by the airlines, they could prepare a much better trip for you. So can you do your own insurance on your own? Yeah, probably. But if you go to a pro, could you end up with something better?
I believe so, in most cases, for sure.
See, I love that, and that's got to be such a fulfilling thing for you to be doing. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but Wayne, when we come back, I'd like, because you do know the industry so well, to pick your brain a little.
Okay.
Because no one's really clear on what's going to happen with Obamacare come the new year when Congress really makes a significant change. And there's a lot of talk from doing nothing to trying to completely repeal it and everything in between. So when we come back, we're going to speak to Mr. Guzman and find out if he can take a guess on what may be coming down the healthcare road. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We are back, and you are watching or listening to Voice of the Inland Empire, coming to you from the Claremont Center of Spiritual Living with Senior Minister Reverend Greg Dorst. And we are so happy that they have allowed us to use their beautiful venue to produce our show. Today, we have been speaking with Wayne Guzman, who is a gentleman that has more than 25 years of experience in the healthcare industry and the insurance side of it, and serves on some local boards, statewide boards, and is really connected to what's going on in health insurance. And Wayne, the $24 million question is, come the new year, we have a new Congress where the Republicans are going to hold both the House and the Senate. And there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, from trying to completely repeal it, to trying to fix it, to doing nothing. Prognosticate for us. What are people in your industry thinking may happen, and what do you fear the most?
Well, on a national level, I think that with the Republicans now in control of both houses, there's definitely looking towards challenges of, if not the entire Affordable Care Act, but at least important portions that they feel may represent a need to be fixed. That might include the employer mandate and the levels. We've seen a passing this year on enforcing employers below 100 to be in full compliance, let's say. The other issues, we have a big decision at the Supreme Court level regarding the legality of
the tax
of the premium assistance for those states that do not have their own exchange. The good news is for Californians is that will not affect California directly. We are the largest contributor to those individuals who have enrolled nationwide through the Affordable Care Act. So again, with good news, Covered California is in place. People will still be able to use that no matter what that outlook is and that decision that happens in the Supreme Court in June. And then finally, I think what we fear most is perhaps going back to what caused this need for reform in the first place, and that is going back to a place where nearly a fifth of this country found themselves without insurance. When you
Do
had
you
nearly,
really think that anyone could pull off that much of a rewind, though?
I would say not at this point in time. I really feel that when you look at the numbers and the amount of momentum that has built in, we work with people every single day on the front lines, and there's a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of people who are really thankful. So I think no matter what side of the House one sits on, individuals are listening, our leaders are listening to the fact that there was a problem, and this is a solution for many of those employees or individuals who couldn't get coverage before.
So the other thing I keep hearing a lot about is that prices are going to soar. You know, when the employee mandates go in place, because we don't have enough young people yet anyway signing up to underwrite the total costs of this insurance. What could people's health care prices start looking like in a year or two?
Well, it has, you know, it's been a legitimate concern, especially when you look at the 10 to 12 years or the decade that preceded the implementation of the Affordable Care Act. I mean, prices had risen since 1999 over 200% in coverage. When you look at what it used to cost to either cover an employee or for an individual to protect their families, those prices rose significantly. The last few years, we've really seen a decline in that large increase, again, on nearly 200%. And there is this thought that, yes, prices are stable right now. We've seen very moderate increases. Some of the larger carriers this year have even had no increases whatsoever. However, it's this tick-tock,
Right.
is it coming? I would suggest that you're seeing a lot more younger people who are interested in learning about health insurance because of the mandate, because of the exposure, and that's a good thing. It's a really good thing, because I think when we talk to young people each day, and I worked with several of them just yesterday, 26, 27, coming off mom and dad's insurance policies, who never took a step towards educating themselves, but who are really open and appreciate being respected to get that education and learn how they can protect themselves as well.
So, yeah, I think everyone agrees the plan that we used to have was terribly broken. And I'm hopeful that in time, anything that needs to be repaired in our current one will be by our new Congress.
I couldn't agree more, Ron, and I share your hope.
Great. Now, if someone wants more information about you or anything we've talked about, or Her Vision Insurance Services, how do they get a hold of you?
Easiest way, email wayne@hervision.com, or text me or call me at 909-992-9787.
Awesome. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't go away. We will be right back.